Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most critical aspects of modern AI development, fine-tuning large language models. We'll explore four major techniques: supervised fine-tuning, reinforcement learning from human feedback, direct preference optimization, and parameter-efficient fine-tuning, or P-tuning. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just what these methods are, but when and why to use each one. Let's start with the big picture. Think of fine-tuning as a journey, and this diagram shows the typical evolution path. It all starts with a pre-trained base model. This is your foundation, trained on massive amounts of text data, but it doesn't follow instructions well yet. First stop: Supervised Fine-Tuning, or SFT. This teaches the model to follow instructions, format responses properly, and perform specific tasks. Next, RLHF, Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback. This aligns the model with human preferences and values. And then we have DPO, Direct Preference Optimization. Think of it as RLHF simplified, same goal, more efficient path. Finally, P-tuning sits on the side as a resource-efficient alternative that can be applied at any stage. Let's start with supervised fine-tuning, the foundation of instruction-following models. SFT is traditional machine learning at its core. You have input-output pairs, and you train the model to predict the output given the input. The key here is supervised. Every training example has a clear, correct answer that you're teaching the model to reproduce. When do you use SFT? It's your first step after pre-training. You use it to teach the model how to follow instructions, format responses properly, and perform specific tasks. Here's what SFT training data looks like. Notice the structure: a clear instruction, optional context or input, and the desired response. For example, summarize this article is the instruction, the article text is the input, and the summary is the response the model learns to generate. You need thousands or even hundreds of thousands of these examples to effectively fine-tune a model. Here's a simplified code example using the Hugging Face library. You load your pre-trained model, prepare your dataset in the instruction-response format, and use a trainer to optimize the model parameters. The model learns by minimizing the difference between its predictions and your target responses, classic supervised learning. But SFT has limitations. The model can only be as good as your training data. If your dataset has bias, the model learns that bias. If your responses are low quality, the model produces low quality outputs. Most critically, SFT doesn't capture subjective preferences well. What makes one response better than another? SFT struggles with this. That's where RLHF comes in. RLHF, Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback, is what made ChatGPT feel truly intelligent and aligned with human values. Unlike SFT, which learns from fixed examples, RLHF learns from human preferences. It's not about right or wrong answers, it's about better or worse. This is crucial for safety, helpfulness, and harmlessness, the 3 H's of AI alignment. RLHF works in 3 distinct steps. Step 1, start with an SFT model. You need that instruction-following foundation first. Step 2, train a reward model. You show human labelers pairs of responses and ask which one is better. The reward model learns to predict human preferences. Step 3, use reinforcement learning, specifically PPO, proximal policy optimization, to optimize your language model to generate responses that the reward model rates highly. Think of it like training a dog. The reward model is the treats, and PPO is the training process that teaches the model which behaviors earn treats. Let's zoom into the reward model. This is the heart of RLHF. You take the same prompt, generate multiple responses, and humans rank them. Response A might be helpful but verbose. Response B is concise and accurate. Humans prefer B. The reward model learns to assign higher scores to responses that humans prefer. It becomes a proxy for human judgment. Here's a simplified view of the PPO training loop. The model generates responses, the reward model scores them, and PPO adjusts the model's parameters to maximize expected reward. Notice the KL divergence term. This prevents the model from drifting too far from the original SFT model. We want improvement, not instability. But RLHF is complex and expensive. You need 3 models running simultaneously, the policy model being trained, the reward model scoring outputs, and a reference model for KL divergence. Training is unstable, hyperparameters are finicky, and you need massive computational resources. This complexity led researchers to ask, can we achieve this same alignment with a simpler approach? Enter DPO. Direct Preference Optimization, introduced in 2023, is a game changer. DPO achieves what RLHF does, learning from human preferences, but without the reward model and without reinforcement learning. It's simpler, more stable, and often more effective. Think of it as RLHF distilled to its essence. Let's compare. RLHF. 3-step process, reward model required, RL training with PPO, unstable, computationally expensive. DPO, single-step process, no reward model, supervised learning, stable, much more efficient. Both use preference data that doesn't change, but DPO treats preference learning as a classification problem rather than reinforcement learning. Here's the intuition. In RLHF, you maximize reward while staying close to the reference model. DPO realizes you can rearrange this mathematically to directly optimize the policy based on preferences, skipping the reward model entirely. The loss function compares the model's probability of generating the preferred response versus the rejected response. Simple, supervised learning. The code is remarkably clean. You have prompt, chosen response, and rejected response in your dataset. The DPO trainer optimizes the model to increase the likelihood of chosen responses and decrease the likelihood of rejected ones. No reward model to train, no PPO complexity, just clean, supervised optimization. Why is DPO gaining massive adoption? First, simplicity, 1-stage training versus 3. Second, stability, no RL instability issues. Third, efficiency, less compute, faster training. And empirically, DPO often matches or exceeds RLHF performance on benchmarks. Models like Zephyr and many recent open-source models use DPO instead of RLHF. Now let's talk about P-tuning, or parameter-efficient fine-tuning. This is a different dimension entirely. All the methods we've discussed so far, SFT, RLHF, DPO, they all update the model's weights. For a 7 billion parameter model, that means modifying billions of numbers. P-tuning asks, what if we don't update the model at all? What if we only train a tiny adapter? There are several P-tuning methods. LoRA, low-rank adaptation, is the most popular. Prompt tuning prepends learnable tokens to inputs. Prefix tuning adds learnable vectors at each layer. Adapter layers insert small neural networks between transformer layers. They all share the same goal: achieve good performance while training far fewer parameters. Let's focus on LoRA because it's widely used. Instead of modifying the full weight matrix W, LoRA adds a low-rank decomposition, B times A. If W is 4096 by 4096, that's 16 million parameters. But if B is 4096 by 8 and A is 8 by 4096, that's only 65,000 parameters, a 250x reduction. During inference, you merge BA back into W, so there's zero latency overhead. Here's how you implement LoRA with the PEFT library from Hugging Face. You specify the rank, how many dimensions in your low-rank matrices, and which parts of the model to adapt. Training is identical to full fine-tuning, but you're only updating a tiny fraction of parameters. When should you use p-tuning? First, limited compute resources. You can fine-tune on a single GPU instead of a cluster. Second, multiple task-specific models. Store many small adapters instead of many full models. Third, fast experimentation. Iterate quickly without expensive full fine-tuning runs. But there's a trade-off. P-tuning typically achieves 90 to 95% of full fine-tuning performance. For some use cases, that's acceptable. For others, you need full fine-tuning. Let's bring it all together with a comparison. SFT, foundation layer, high data requirements, moderate compute, use it for instruction following and task-specific behavior. RLHF, alignment and preferences, very high compute, use it when human preference learning is critical and you have resources. DPO, simpler alignment, moderate compute, use it when you want preference learning without RLHF complexity. P-tuning, methods like LoRA let you fine-tune efficiently with minimal resources. Here's a decision tree to help you choose. Start with, do you have a pre-trained base model? If no, pre-train first. If yes, continue. Do you need instruction following? Use SFT. Do you need alignment with human values? Use DPO or RLHF. DPO if you want simplicity, RLHF if you need maximum control or have specific requirements. Do you have limited compute or need multiple task adapters? Use p-tuning on top of any of the above. In practice, production models often combine these techniques. A typical pipeline: start with pre-training, then SFT for instruction following, then DPO for alignment, and finally LoRA adapters for task-specific customization. This layered approach gives you a general-purpose aligned model with the flexibility to specialize efficiently. Let's recap the key takeaways. SFT is your foundation. It teaches instruction following through supervised learning. RLHF aligns models with human preferences, but is complex and expensive. DPO achieves similar alignment more simply and efficiently. It's becoming the preferred method. P-tuning methods like LoRA let you fine-tune efficiently with minimal resources. The best approach depends on your goals, data, and computational budget. If you want to dive deeper, here are some resources. The original DPO paper is a must-read. Hugging Face has excellent documentation on TRL and PEFT libraries. And the Alignment Handbook provides practical guides for implementing these techniques. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into AI and machine learning. Drop a comment if you have questions or want me to cover specific fine-tuning techniques in more detail. Until next time, keep learning and building.